Hello and welcome to my documentary. Momentarily, I will delve into a particular interview with my friend Reese Roberts. His was particularly interesting because he was the only one to say the correct answer unironically to my final question. Before we start, I'd like to stress that the first interview is somewhat vocalized by me because I had to explain to the person and the viewers what I was saying. During this short documentary, I will be showing a whole host of wildlife I encountered while exploring Chester Zoo.
It's bad in some cases, but I would say good in some, because say for example, if a certain species of animal, well I won't say species, but sort of like, you know, like the silver-breasted tit or something like that, if that's close to, coming extinct or something like that, it would be good to, because they wouldn't be extinct, they'd still be alive if they were in captivity and looked after. But in some cases, when animals are forced into that captivity, that's obviously bad, you know what I mean? Well, my opinion, it's all negative towards illegal captivity, mainly because it's illegal. The animals probably won't be looked after, they'll be mistreated, obviously, for sure. So it's wrong, you know.
So I've got one final question for you. This is a true or false sort of style question.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you two facts about animal captivity, and I'd like you to tell me which one is real and which is fake. So the first one is zoos don't serve for conservation, and by this I mean when animals are bred in zoos, they claim to release them back into the wild, when in actual fact they're just increasing the captive population. And zoos use experimental drugs on dying animals because they're deemed weak and without their own animal rights.
I mean, to be honest, they both sound true to me, to be honest with you. I can imagine, for example, every zoo is probably different, you know what I mean? So probably in some cases both are true, in one, and like another zoo it could be false. So to be honest, I would say probably the first one, the conservation one, that they don't look after the animals. I'd say that's, I don't know, that is tricky, to be honest. Myself, is one true and one's false?
Well, that's for you to find out.
I'd say they're both true, to be honest. I can imagine it being both true.
I am going to be talking to 5 people in total from my class with contrasting opinions on the subject of captivity, specifically in the UK. For preparation for this trip, I packed a DSLR camera. At the end of this small documentary, I will display some of the images I took along the way. Thank you.
I feel like keeping there's some animals in the zoo that are, they're kept from extinction by being in that zoo, and I think that's good, and I think it's fine as long as they handle it right, they don't abuse, hurt the animal, you don't keep them where it isn't good, isn't, somewhere that similar to the natural habitat in the zoo. Like, you don't be mean to them, treat them nice, feed them right,
I think when it comes to legal animal captivity, a lot of the time it's necessary because the animals are endangered or, they get hunted or whatever, I don't know. But I also think that when it's not completely necessary, it can be quite cruel considering how small of an enclosure some animals get and how they don't really get to be they don't get to behave the way they would in the wild.
When it comes to captivity and stuff like that, I think for the most part if it's to do with endangered species and obviously if they were in the wild, they would like die and stuff like that, need to be in certain circumstances. Then I think that might be the maybe the one time where it would possibly be okay. If it's just for taking them for the entertainment purposes, then that's where I kind of draw the line a bit more. I think it's obviously if it's to do like to benefit, like to save like a species, then that's the time I would probably say they'll be alright.
I've been to Chester Zoo multiple times, yes, with school and stuff. My favourite animal in Chester Zoo is the giraffes. I just really like them. I don't agree with illegal captivity because obviously if the animal doesn't need to be there and it could obviously be out in the wild doing natural things, then there's really no need for it to be in captivity anyway. So I don't like the idea of pointless captivity just for the entertainment of people. Skills. I remember in the past, I don't know where, but I have been to a safari once because it destroyed the car. Yeah. I have also been to zoos when visiting like abroad and stuff like that, just, you know, like a day out at the zoo. Okay. I believe that they are both true because I am more knowledgeable and I read the Bible.
The zoo that I quite like to visit, not so much every year, but occasionally, Chester Zoo. It's really interesting to see all the animals they got there, and it's really educational. I really love penguins. And also red pandas, but I'm not quite sure if they have them to see. They're just so. I find that they get on well with each other, and that makes it quite funny, and you can get some nice photos of them as well. Chester Zoo being an legal captive place for animals, I think it's fine. Honestly, I don't really have a strong opinion on it in a negative way. I think it's it's good for the animals, stops them from being extinct in some animals anyway, and then it also educates us as well. Keeping animals in captive when it's not legal, I don't think that. That's not right. I don't know any places that do that in this country, but it's not right for animals to be kept there when they shouldn't be there. Other than Chester Zoo, I have been to Welsh Mountain Zoo, and I've also been to Knowsley Safari Park in Liverpool. I think it's my favourite is Welsh Mountain Zoo. It's really good. It's up the mountain, so it's kind of it's peaceful. It's away from.
Which one do you believe is fake?
The one where they release animals. I think that one's fake. Really?
They use experimental drugs on dying animals, and they also don't serve for conservation. Thank you for this interview, Lucas.
Okay.